never know how much I love you. I never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear.
2. Mention the name of Paul Hogan and immediately you think of a Sydney Harbour Bridge, don't you? Well, what about Paul Hogan the entertainer? Paul is one of our biggest actors, singers and impressionists. He's just so busy, this man. He never stops. Paul's well known for his tribute shows, including the Beach Boys. You may have seen those. Robbie Williams as well. He's a regular right around this area here, right around Victoria for that matter, and he's given us some time today to have a bit of a chat about his life, his career and anything else that takes his fancy today. Paul, nice to have you with us, pal. Well done, Paul. I haven't put you through to the studio. There you are. You're on there now, mate. How are you?
G'day, Leigh. How are you, mate?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Paul, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad.
How's the bridge looking today?
Yeah, I've run out of paint, actually.
Good on you. I bet you're asked that a lot these days.
I get that all the time.
I bet you do.
Everyone thinks I've made it up as a stage name, but why would you give yourself a stage name of Paul Hogan?
Your mother probably decided she liked the name Paul Hogan and that was going to be yours.
It was actually, my dad actually called me Paul. So,
did he? Oh, your dad did he?
He was a big fan of the Paul Hogan show.
Yeah, there you are. That's how it came about.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll blame Dad. And look, it doesn't matter. It's a great name. Mine's Leigh Drew. It doesn't mean anything at all. So, names are names, aren't they?
They are. It's just sometimes that does cause confusion every now and then.
It's what you do with it, isn't it? You've been around for a little time, and you're in this area too. You entertain down here in the southeastern suburbs and all around the place. Look, you're an actor. You've studied acting, haven't you? You did music theatre, I see, at uni. You've done all of those things. You've been on Neighbours. You've done movies. You've done live shows. You've done musicals. Kiss Me, Kate, My Fair Lady. The Boyfriend comes to mind too. I remember The Boyfriend some years ago. Gee, that must have been 2003, I think, with you.
Gee, I was a kid back then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you would have been. Yeah, that's 13, 14 years ago. And, of course, you've done the Beach Boy shows and their summer show and the Robbie Williams tribute and Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Frankie Valli, yep.
Yeah. How did you get into it all?
Yeah, good question. I had a really low self-esteem at high school, and I remember doing drama class, and I absolutely loved it. And I used to always, impersonate, even back in primary school. I remember actually impersonating Bob Hawke and John Howard and who else was it at that time? Ronald Reagan.
Right.
And I got up in class, and everyone always considered me as being quiet and shy. And I got up and I did a bit of a spiel as Bob Hawke and Ronald Reagan, and the kids just thought it was fantastic. And they said, "We should get you onto Red Faces," but I was just too shy. I was only about 7 or 8 at the time, but I was just too shy. I was a really shy boy, and then I went through sort of high school, and sort of the last few years of high school, I really enjoyed the drama class, and sort of after year 12, I then just went and did some office work and temporary office jobs, and got to the age of 25. I was doing a lot of amateur musical theatre, and I thought, look, I need a change. I really want to do this full time. So I auditioned for a music theatre course in Ballarat back in in the year 2000. And since then, I did that for 3 years. Then I went back to working in an office full time. And then then I had a bit of I wouldn't probably consider it a midlife crisis. I was 35 at the time. I don't know if that's midlife, but I got to the age of 35 and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this full time. And it took me a few years. Now I'm working pretty much nearly every day, performing, singing, doing morning melody shows, doing the tribute shows on the weekend, and also working on a show with Derek Redfern.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that today. Yeah.
So and Steve King, who does a fantastic Elvis. So I'm really looking forward to working with those guys. It's just a real honour.
I was talking to Derek this morning, and he said that you were working on a show with him. So that'll be exciting when that comes up.
Yeah. So it's great. It's great too. People like that. It's just a real honour, and it's fantastic. And I've got another wonderful young lady that wants me to do a show with her, and she does impersonations of Kath and Kim, and was absolutely fabulous. She does all the
Go on.
different impersonations. So she wants me to do a show with her as well. So it's great. You feel the love.
Well, when you come to these tribute shows, which you're very, very famous for, do you have to study the characters very hard and for very long? How do you go about it?
Yeah, look, I have to admit, I did find that I think what basically, like I said, I had a sort of a low self-esteem. Even when I was studying at uni, the teachers would always come up to me and say, you really struggle in selling yourself. You've got this low self-esteem. I don't know why you've got such a low self-esteem. And I still to this day don't know why. And once I finished the course, it was my mum actually turned around and said, you should do some, join a band and do some gigs. And I said, no, not good enough. I'm not good enough to be in a band. I'm just not good enough. And she said, why don't you do a duo or a trio, do some wedding gigs? So I started doing wedding gigs with this guitarist. And he said, you sound a little bit like Robbie Williams. So I said, okay. And then from then on, he said, we'll do a Robbie Williams tribute show. And I was scared. I was scared shitless, basically, because you look at the real Robbie Williams. He's sort of out there and on stage. He's really confident, and and I just thought, there's about 90% of the crowd are female. And I thought, God, they probably thought, who's this clown trying to be Robbie Williams?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sort of comes. I've always had a good ear for mimicking and hearing voices, and that's probably why I had trouble in
primary school.
High school. I sometimes didn't listen to the teacher, but I'd listen to their voice instead.
That's a gift, isn't it? It really is a gift. Really is a gift.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, I've got to put on the accent. But no, it's not bad. I enjoy it.
Good on you, Robbie. I like that. Do it again.
Look, it's fantastic talking to you, Leigh. Been quite busy, and I've got a new album coming out. Everyone should get the album. So if you buy the album, that means you go and get to see the other guy that does me. His name's Paul Hogan. Fancy that. Somebody could call Paul Hogan doing Robbie Williams.
Very good. Very good indeed. Gee, you're good. You often go down to the Noble Park RSL, don't you?
Look, I sort of perform everywhere. I do it. Yeah, I do solo gigs
down
in at the Noble Park RSL.
Well, I've got a list on coming up here from next week. You're at Hampton Park RSL. Hampton rather.
Yep.
Then you're at Cranbourne Trios on the 16th. The 17th, you're back at the Noble Park RSL. The 19th, Beacon Hills Golf Club. Gee, that's a good venue up there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Great venue. And the 8th of April, the Beach Boys at the Warragul Country Club. That again's a great club.
Yeah, you're quite busy. You get a bit schizophrenic with all the different shows too. So.
Who manages you? Your wife or someone else?
No, I'm still actually looking for a wife.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well, there you are, girls.
Single guy, but if there are any single ladies out there.
Well, the other Paul Hogan is looking for a wife too at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
So there's
competition there.
Well, you both got the same name, both got the same problem.
He's got the money though.
Well, has he?
Has he got a tax problem?
Well, I don't know. That was some time ago. He was on TV the other night saying it's all cleared up. But yeah, so there you are. So all right, well, girls, if you go along and see the show, you can see this young man and make up your own mind. They can come and say, Paul, would you like a date?
Yes, that's the problem with me. When I do perform, I find when I'm off stage, I'm just myself, and I sort of get into my little shell.
Do you really?
Actually, yeah, very.
So
very
it goes
quiet.
back to those primary school days at 7.
Shy, I just struggle, and then when I'm on stage, I remember actually when I started the Robbie show, and I remember we got a new drummer only a few years ago, and the drummer said to the guitarist, he said, "Can this guy pull it off? Like he sounds like Robbie when he does the show, when we're doing rehearsals, but can he pull it off on stage?" And I got on stage one particular night, and he's going, "You're like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. You're this really quiet, shy guy, and then when you're on stage, you're the complete opposite."
But I think a lot of performers are like that, aren't they? Look at Graham Kennedy. He was known for that as well.
Yeah, I heard he was very shy. And
oh, yes.
Even I've heard too about Robbie Williams. He actually likes to be called Robert Williams when he's off stage.
Does he?
Okay. Actually quite a quiet man and quite shy as well. So. There you
But
go.
I think quite often performers are like that. Yeah, on stage, it's a different persona. You're out there and you've got control of the audience, and it's yours. But when you're off, it's a little bit different, isn't it? So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yep.
Totally understand. So, Paul, your next show then would be the Hampton one, the RSL, and they'll be listing it down there today. Then up to Cranbourne here on the 16th, as we were saying earlier. And what shows are you doing there? Just a general show, or is it one of your tributes?
That's a very good question. I always get people ask me what you're doing next. Actually, it's a crooners, doing a crooner show.
Oh, okay.
It'll be sort of Robbie and the Crooners, but I do, some of the Robbie swing songs as well.
But you like Sinatra too, don't you?
A bit of Sinatra, yeah. Bublé.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Burt Bacharach as well.
Oh, so am I. Yeah, absolutely. Great music.
Can't
Great
beat
music.
the old stuff.
Yeah.
I think I was born in the wrong era.
Well, I was going to say to you, you're only a young chap, and to be going back in the music like that, what influenced you to love that style of music?
I think it's basically growing up as a kid, listening to Gold 104. I'd have my sister used to listen to Kiss, ABBA, and I was more of a fan of the Beach Boys, the Beatles. Even going further back, I loved the old films with Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Frank Sinatra. I just had I just loved the music, and I loved the way they tell a story, and you just can't beat the old timers. I don't know, it was something magic about the entertainers back then, and which is quite sad. There should be more of it this now.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Paul. Paul, I'll let you go, mate. Great to catch up with you today. I know we're Facebook friends and so on, but it's great to catch up live via the phone with you. And if ever you're down this neck of the woods, pop into the studio and we'll sing a song or two and do something live with you.
Yeah, no worries. Fantastic. Sorry about that. I probably need a coffee. I'm probably mumbling.
No, you've done fine, mate. You've done fine. You and I will see each other as the time goes on. Have a great show down at Hampton and up here at Cranbourne. We wish you well, mate, in your career.
No worries. Thanks,
Okay,
Leigh.
take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.